What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Eliel, and welcome back to my video. And today I'll be sharing with you guys how to destroy fear in trading. And without wasting time, let's jump into the video. First of all, we do have two types of fear which we need to understand. The first fear, we call it the fear of missing out, and the second fear, we call it the fear of losing, right? And I'll jump and explain to you guys how all these fears they actually relate in trading and how you can actually destroy them completely. So make sure you to stay tuned to the video. Number one, we're gonna start talking about the fear of losing. And this usually happens when a trader has lost some trades, couple of trades in a row. And most of the time, this happens to beginner traders, whereby you see you have a lot of losing trades in a row. And instead of you leaving your strategy to show you in a couple of trades, you begin to doubt your strategy and want to change your strategy, right? And in my opinion, this is when you actually see if a trader is actually profitable or not. It's through drawdown. If you can be able to come out of drawdown, that means you're definitely a profitable trader. We're gonna jump to the second fear, which we call it the fear of missing out. And this fear usually occurs when, number one, you see a trade leaving you before tapping into your point of interest. And this type of thing usually brings something which you call greed. If you are greedy in the market, that's when you begin to want to chase a trade which hasn't tapped your point of interest or already left without you. Something which you need to realize is that the market does not owe us anything, right? So if we come to understand that the market actually does not owe us anything and we do not know what's the next move, that's when we can be able to actually leave our edge to play out. And actually, to come think about it, a lot of traders actually, this is how a lot of traders blow their account because of this factor, because you are not patient enough. You are not patient to leave the market to actually come to your point of interest and wait for your setup to play out before you enter a trade. But just because it left before entering your point of interest, already you want to enter the market, which is totally wrong to do that. A lot of traders actually, we lack patience, right? And most of the traders who actually lack patience, in reality, they also lack a plan. If you do not have a plan, you will not have patience, because if you have patience, you will wait for your plan to actually play out before you even want to enter the trade. When you trade with fear of missing out, when you enter a trade with fear of missing out, you need to understand that, number one, you will not trade with your normal risk, because already the point which you wanted to buy in has already passed, or it left before touching your point of interest. So your risk will not be the usual risk. You'll risk normally more than how you're supposed to risk in your normal trade. Just because a trade has already started moving to the direction which you anticipated, that does not mean that the market will actually go to that direction. So most of the time, when the market leaves before tapping your point of interest, it's best to leave the market and let it play out. If it doesn't tap your point of interest, don't enter, because a lot of traders, once they see the market already going to the direction before tapping their point of interest, already you think that that's where the market will go. But in reality, most of the time, we do not know the next move. Even if it started moving before you, that does not mean you should directly enter the market, because you do not have confluences which will allow you to enter in that market. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of traders actually relate to what I'm talking about, and that is why I will give you tips to actually destroy this type of fears in the market. But before I actually give you guys the tips of how to destroy these fears, let me quickly introduce myself. For those who don't know me, my name is Eliel, and I opened this channel to share my journey and actually teach you guys my mistakes and things which I know about the market. So if you like this video, please make sure you drop the like button, and if you're enjoying it, subscribe. And let's jump straight to the next point. Now, since we already understand when do these fears occur, let me now teach you how to actually destroy these fears. Number one, how to destroy fear of losing. The first thing which you have to do is to think in probability. I know I always preach this, that you have to think in probability, but you need to understand, what do I mean when you say think in probability? The first point which I want to give you guys is that do not judge your strategy or your trading plan based on one trade. You have to leave your trade to play out a couple of times before you actually decide if this trade is actually profitable or not. So do not judge your strategy based on one trade. And the second thing which I want to tell you guys is that learn to journal your trades. Once you know how to journal your trade, it actually allows you to let your strategy or your plan to actually play out, and that actually builds the confidence of your strategy. And when you build the confidence in your strategy, it will also reduce fear in trading. So that's one thing you need to understand, is that number one, you should let your trades to play out. Do not judge your trade based on 1 or 2 trades. You have to let a couple of trades play before you actually decide if your strategy is actually profitable. And the second thing, journal your trades. This will build the confidence of you knowing how your strategy usually plays out, and it will actually reduce fear in the market. And the third thing, which I think I should share with you guys, which is very, very important in reducing fear, is that stick to one strategy. If you stick to one strategy, you will actually be looking for a certain way of your trades to play out. If you have a couple of strategies, you will not know when to use which strategy, right? Unless if you are already advanced. But right now I'm speaking to more of intermediate traders and beginner traders. If you're still struggling to be consistent in the market, only stick to one strategy, which you know that I will only trade once this happens. That's when I'll be able to take my trade. You get me? So yeah, stick to one strategy. Very important. So now, since we have already understood how to destroy the fear of losing, let's now jump to the second point, which is how to destroy the fear of missing out a trade. How to not enter before your strategy plays out, or before you get those conferences. Let's go to the next point. Fear of missing out in a trade. This is a very, very hard thing, especially if you're a gambler or you have gambled before, doing things like betting and all that. If you are into that type of a lifestyle, or you are into that type of thing or addiction, it is very hard to come out of gambling, because this is basically you gambling in the market. So what I will advise you guys, I will give you guys some few tips which can actually help you to come out of that system of gambling or entering a trade which does not go according to your plan. Now, without wasting time, let's go into the next part. So I plan a bit of things which you should go through. Now, before you take a trade, make sure you do this couple of things. Number one, make sure you write down your trading plan or your strategy in a piece of paper, or in a place where you can be able to see the strategy or the plan. And make sure you read that plan before taking each and every trade. Make sure you read your plan and understand. That will make you understand to know exactly what you will be looking for. Number two, tell yourself that you will only take a trade if these things actually happen. Right? You need to make sure you tell yourself loud and clear, so you can hear yourself, that I will only take a trade if this or that happens. If it does not happen, I will not take the trade. Number three, make sure you define your risk. This is very important, because I see a lot of gamblers, when you see the market leaving before you, you forget to even know how much you are risking. Make sure you know how much you are risking exactly. If you guys don't know how to check how you risk per trade, make sure you comment in the comment section, so that I know to make the next video. So make sure you define your strategy, and make sure you know how much exactly you are risking per trade. Now, the fourth point is that imagine yourself taking this trade and it's hitting your stop loss. And also imagine yourself taking the same trade and hitting your take profit. This will actually allow you to understand that you do not know the next move of the trade or the market. You do not know where will this market go next. So what will allow you to do is just to let your trade play out, your strategy play out, and your edge also to play out. All you are doing is just following your edge. So this is one thing I'll advise you, especially if you already think that you know what the market will do next. Make sure you imagine and sit down and just think about it. See that trade hitting stop loss, and also see that same trade hitting the take profit. And after that, you'll be able to understand that you'll be able to put in your head that this trade, I do not know the actual possibility of where it's gonna go. All I have to do is just to let my trade to play out. And I think this is, if you found it helpful, please make sure to drop the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It's your boy Eliel. Guys, as I said, if you watch my previous videos, I started a 10K challenge. And if you want me to show you guys my update, please comment in the comment section and tell me if you guys want to see that, and I'll drop a next video showing you guys how my 10K challenge is going. So without wasting time, it's your boy Eliel, and I'm signing out. Peace.